It is Saturday night once again. This is the overnight mouse party. I'm Dean Foss, and so far we've got Gizzard Gary. How's it going, Gary?
Man, it just doesn't get any better than this. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here, and hopefully this time we are streaming properly to Rumble and to the X.
I'll go look real quick.
I'm not sure. Last week with the Rumble, it showed here that we were streaming, but I couldn't see it if I went over to Rumble. Later on, the stream did appear when I looked at my analytics. I could see it kind of in the back room part, but if I wasn't logged in, I couldn't see it. But I know there's views on it, so I don't know. I don't know what happened with the Rumble stuff, but it looks like this one should be streaming properly. I got everything set up, and it looked
You
okay.
are indeed streaming live on Rumble.
Oh, and we should be streaming to X also. Um, Hopefully.
Let's find out. Hmm. Uh, hmm. Hmm.
It says I'm live, but I don't know.
Or DM Foss. By golly, I think you might be. Let's see.
Okay, smokes. It's working.
It's working! It's working! It's working! It's working! God, I just heard myself. That's pretty scary.
Uh, I went down and picked up the my SIG FCUs today. The government said that I'm all a-okay. Take my stuff home.
Nice.
Um, so I there's a picture on the community tab. I mean, it's nothing exciting. It's just a picture of it inside the chassis, inside the grip frame, and I ordered. I've got another grip frame coming because I had bought two. Is when I went down to do the 4473 for the FCU. The guy at the counter, he's like, "Hey, you want another one?" I was like, "Well, not unless it's free." He goes, "No, it's not free." And then I made the mistake of saying, "Well, how much?" And it was $100 off because it was a consignment.
Mhm.
I'm like, "Well, god damn it, I'll take it." It's $100 off. I couldn't pass it up. I'd be a fool not to take it.
Well, there you go.
So I've got two. So I'm apparently building two SIGs.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah, I have to spread it out just because of the cost. So, but they're both X carry frames, which is kind of a compact slide on a full size grip. Uh, so I'll probably do a X carry and an X compact. Broken Rumble says he can't find me on the Rumbles.
Oh, I found you.
So I don't know. Rumble seems to be kind of maybe like a couple guys in the garage with a wish and a hope doing software. Um, it's it's nice to have an alternative platform that mostly works, but it's like when I look at my page, depending on which page I'm, when I'm kind of in the back
There's
room looking at the backroom stuff, I see one set of numbers. If I'm looking at what everybody else sees, I see another set of numbers.
That's because your creator on Rumble has an identity, and then your channel has an identity also. In your case, they're both named the same thing. So if you look
Oh,
up DM Foss, you'll see two different ones. One is you, one is your channel.
yeah, I don't quite get any of that
And
part,
so
but
what I did is I went into settings and told it not to list my creator. So you only see one of me because it confused the heck out of me at first. Then I finally figured out.
I'll have to, I don't know, I'll have to fool around with that, I guess. Um, the I just lost what I was going to say about the rumbles.
I just put your Rumble link out there in the chat.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, when I've got a video, and I think I remember this from back when I was doing Rumble before, and then I kind of forgot that I was on Rumble, which is kind of what I tend to do because I'm on, I was on like Gunstreamer and a few of the other alternatives, and then kind of forgot that I was on them, so I stopped uploading to them. And now it's been so long that I don't want to go back and then have to upload everything. I did do that for Rumble. Went to all my old videos, back from when Rumble stopped auto updating. Got all of the kind of evergreen content updated, and then did some of the streams, but it's such a hassle because you can't do batches of videos. You have to do one by one. So I didn't do all the old live streams. Um, but when I've got a video that was set to come out next week, and I think I remember this from way before, where it already shows that there's some views on it. So I think it's internal Rumble stuff looking at it, because I don't know why there would be 4 views on it already.
So if you want to see how to do that, if you go into Rumble and then go to account settings,
There isn't anything sensitive here, is there?
no, other
Okay.
than my email, which I think everybody could probably figure out. It doesn't take a detective. Anyway, you go to settings and then under privacy, there's a hide my username from search results. If you check that, then it'll only show you as one. It'll only show your channel and it won't show your user account.
Okay, I think I remember seeing that, and I did not check it because I thought I would be hiding my channel.
No, you're hiding yourself.
Okay, I got you.
Because I found out I was subscribed to you and I wasn't following your channel, so after I got everything figured out, I've fixed it. So
Yeah, that's kind of confusing, but I'm not.
I think I ended up emailing Rumble support to find that little tidbit out.
So hide username from search results.
Yeah.
All right, I checked it, so hopefully that helps myself and everyone else out.
Well, let's
And
go
then
back to Rumble.
let me update it. Your settings have been saved successfully. It might take up to 30 minutes for the changes to take effect.
Okay. Well, we'll give it 30 minutes then. I guess we can do that.
Oh, okay. That because there's two. So since there's 2 channels, the profile picture on one of the pages is the old logo, and I kept trying to get it to update, but I guess I was updating the
Yeah.
username one, so I have to figure out how to get in and update the other one.
Though nobody will ever be able to find the other one now.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Gary.
You betcha.
Oh, so Vulcan Rumble is out there? And yeah, there's no dots in the names because they didn't let me put dots in the name. The Saint, Mr. Bob Dabalina. Good evening. It's everybody that's, I think that's everybody that has said something other than Gizzard Gary. And hopefully we'll get maybe one or two more panelists, and we could do a bracket. But brackets just aren't the same if there's only two people. So
Yeah, these are all the people who never sleep. That's the ones that's out there in the chat right now. Oh, put up the banner.
oh,
Yeah, there.
thank you. Let me get over to my banners.
And your viewers know you very well.
At the bottom of the screen, there is a scroll going across there with an email address, untacticalfoss@gmail.com, and a link for the Discord server, place to hang out, chit chat, share pictures and memes, and all that kind of jazz. You can always get a hold of me there. And pretty much anybody else that comes on the chat, you can get a hold of them through the Discord too, if you wish. Let me get back to my comments because I just saw somebody come in. Fuku YT. Good evening. It's nice to see you. Yeah, after I was coming back from the gun shop, got just a couple miles from the house, and the check engine light came on, and I think the car went into limp mode, and
Uh-oh.
made it home. There was no other indicators on the dash. The temperature gauge was fine. You don't get a lot of modern cars that don't have all the good gauges. You just get the dummy lights, but there weren't any leaks. Let the car sit for a little while. Went back, started back up, and the light had turned off. Ran down to the auto parts store, grabbed a OBD reader, and it didn't show any codes. So whatever it was seems to have gone away. I don't know. I might drive around a little bit tomorrow around the block, see what happens. But
Well, in the old days, even as much as having a loose gas cap would cause that.
I don't even have a gas cap. It's the Honda has the no gas cap flap thing.
Yeah, my Jeep has that too, yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure what it was. Everything seemed fine on the way up, and luckily I had the last couple miles I had jumped off the highway and was on the back road, so I was doing lower speeds and stuff, so the limp mode didn't matter as much. But I don't know. Hopefully, there's nothing wrong. It's a 2021, so there hopefully isn't anything wrong with
I know
it.
in my Jeep one time I went to the post office and I was getting ready to leave, and I kind of got the gear selector in between a couple gears, and it displayed this code on the dash. It said something about gear selector error or something like that. Please, have serviced. And I thought, oh, great, I broke something. So I got home and drove it the next day and never came back on. So it must have just been a fluke.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. But like I said, I'll drive it around a little bit tomorrow, and then
When you really got to worry is when your check engine light comes on and you open up your hood and there's no engine. Then you got problems.
oh, I have a couple times, and older Dodges had a piston leave the chat a couple times.
Ew.
One of them was I kind of did it on purpose because I was gonna swap out the motor anyway, so I needed a reason to. So I because it had this it was my 69 Dart, and it had the slant 6, and I was gonna put a 318 in it. So drove it, and then threw the piston and buried the thingy there. But it basically seized up the engine,
Mm-hmm.
and which wasn't a huge deal, other than I had to get it towed back to the house so I could swap out the engines.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
The rod, it buried the rod into the cylinder wall, so you couldn't even turn the engine over
Yeah.
by hand.
Yeah, that can cause problems.
But which the slant 6s were a great little 6-cylinder. Torquey little. It was only a 225 torquey little motor, but I was a lot happier with the V8. Mr. G Webs, how's it going?
Evening. Where to Midland?
Pinned to the top of the chat is a link for this week's poll. If you haven't voted in the poll, vote in the poll. And I think I got it figured out, G Webs, where we are live on the Rumbles and the X. Fuku YT said, I didn't think the slant 6 ever quit. Well, I ran it out of oil. So that was probably one of the only ways to get it to quit.
So the same way you have to get Rumble going, you can get Instagram going, or pretty close to the same way. You have to get a code from Instagram.
So when we had talked about it last time, you had mentioned about going over and you have to open up a page.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'll look into it later, but it just that, like with Rumble, I just need to open the page to get information off of it. But if I have to start and stop it separately, I don't know if I want to hassle with that.
And you have to leave it open to pain, but
yeah. Justin Grimm is out there. Good evening. There was something else I was gonna. Oh, hey, so anybody that I've sent stuff to in the past, the PO box that's on that address is probably the beginning of next month will no longer be valid. Just so everybody knows, don't send any mail to that PO box. It's I've got a new. What's that?
I assume you got kicked out of that PO box.
No, I've got I got a new PO box. That one is at a UPS store, and I switched to the post office. It's $50 cheaper a year.
Uh-oh.
So
find out.
if for whatever reason anybody needs to know that address, it's on the about page.
I thought you were saying it's on the wall of a bathroom all over town.
It might be. I do get around.
He gets around all the time.
So yeah, just kind of a final notice to everybody about that PO box. Which everybody that work, it's a great place. Both the old owner and the new owner are great people. They're really nice people. It's just, that $50 difference is a difference. So
Something like things won't always deliver to the regular PO boxes, I was told.
that's true. With the UPS one, they can take UPS packages and stuff like that because they're considered a physical address and not a PO box. But I usually don't get anything in that like that anyways, so
Oh, okay.
it's not really a problem. The Snopes versus Brown, the semi-automatic ban case that's banging around the Supreme Court. They're going to distribute it again so they can vote on whether they want to take it. So we'll see if they take that up or kick it down the road. And I think the magazine ban case is also going to be considered. I think I heard that, but I'm not sure, and I don't remember the name of that case. So we'll see what happens. I don't think they'll deny it. I think if they don't take it, they'll just relist it. Vulcan Rumble's asking was warning light red or yellow? It was yellow. I don't know if mine will do red, but it's the first time that I've had it come on.
You were talking about some car is broken now. I thought you were talking about when you were a kid or something.
Well, yeah, I had my check engine light come on today when I was coming back from the gun shop. After I got home, I was close to home when it came on, so I kind of limped home, and then I let it set for a little while, cool down, went back out, and the light turned itself off. So, and I plugged in a code reader, and it didn't come up with any codes.
That's good.
Hopefully, that's good. And my wife just, she blamed my crazy driving, but I don't drive crazy. It wasn't fastest I went was 70. So, kind of like highway speed. But Vulcan Rumble said that's a normal time for light for maintenance disconnect for the battery for 60 seconds. It will go away. And Gun Shop, you got something for the SIG build? I got the FCUs. Pick those up. Back there, and I can't show you because YouTube. They will shut us down if I start showing cool and awesome guns. But yeah, so it'll be a little while before I finish that. I probably will try and get a slide next. I want one of the fancy ones with all the holes in it, so I can look cool.
Sure.
But is I need a slide, and
Thread it.
depending on what slides, might need to get sights, and then eventually I'll probably put an optic on it, just so it looks cool. This isn't for carry or anything. It's just kind of something I've never done one, so I wanted to do one. So we're doing one. And I'll kind of show where it's at right now, after we do look at the poll. And why don't we go ahead and look at the poll? Oh, Pink's out there. Pink Panther.
Yeah.
It's been a while. If you got a hold of some bad gas, there was dirt in the line, caused injector to stutter. It'll throw a code and clear itself if it runs fine. That's I had thought about that. Hopefully not, because I go to I guess it's a Fred Meyer gas station. It's kind of a grocery store gas station, but I was thinking because I used to always go to either Texaco or Exxon, which they're kind of both the same. But I guess it's the Fred
I
Meyer.
haven't seen Texaco in years.
Yeah, I don't know if they're around anymore, but they're owned by the same company, I believe. So yeah, like I said, I'll drive it around a little tomorrow, and then maybe go up to the range, see what happens. But we'll take a look at the poll this week.
I've been told that Texaco is owned by the state of Texas. Texas Co is Texas company, and whenever Texas went out of business, whenever Texas went bankrupt, that's when the company went out of business.
Oh, it could be.
Originally, it was a Texas oil company. That is correct.
So this week's poll was: what generation are you? Boomer, Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z?
Oh, I missed that one. When did that go out?
3 days ago.
Oh, snap.
So 47% are Gen X, 22% Boomer,
Yay!
19% Millennial, and 12% Gen Z. I think
22% of your audience?
What's that?
I said Gizzard is 22% of your audience?
That's how big a channel he is.
I'm not the only boomer. We got another boomer right out there in the chat. Mr. Bob, he's a boomer.
It's about what I expected. I wasn't sure on the Gen Z on how many we'd get in there, but it's nice to see. Kind of when I started my channel, it was all boomers. Looking at the analytics, they were all like 65 plus. But looking at the comments, let me make sure that we have the newest first. McWillie X got the scars to prove it. Some are mental. Fuku YT, I'm a boomer. Now get off my lawn, you young whippersnappers. Tim Allen, 1965 Gen Xer. He's an early adopter of Gen X. Vanessa Kitty is a boomer. Wolf and Lamb, Gen Z here. On God, no cap, for real, for real. Gives Gary, boomer.
Boomer, anyway. You got to be like before 68, before 60.
I'm not sure where the year cutoffs are.
I think 64. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But Gives Gary said boomer, no sooner, just boomer.
Just to clarify. Yeah.
The goddamn bacon said old. Next question. Sergeant Joe Smith, D-Generation X. DJ Play Nice. I like each of the generation icons. X is going to give it to you. So thank you to everybody that voted in the poll. And if you haven't voted, get over there and vote.
There's newer ones than Z already, isn't there? Z is only 2000 to 20 something, and then now there's a new one.
Yeah, I don't remember what the new one's called.
Like when the Gen Z start having kids, right? Then that's a new one.
Yeah,
Gen Alpha, I believe.
something like that.
They just went over again.
So let me.
That's what I thought, Mr. Bob. Yeah.
Woods is saying that if you're not of a 19, then you don't need to talk. That'd be great if everybody who's born after 19 just shut up. Be great. Us can talk until at some point in time, then they can talk again.
Justin Grimm said, Gen X old enough to know better, still too young to care. Yeah, Mr. Bob said, Boomer between 46 and 64.
Oh, that's easy to remember.
Woods, Gen X 65 to 80.
Oh, okay. I think they're more about the size of the previous generation than a specific date, right?
Well, that I just had always thought of it, rather than specific years. It's just, the boomers were the kids of the greatest generation, or, the war generation, World War II generation. Their kids were the boomers, and then Gen X were the kids of the boomers.
Right. But that doesn't work because millennials aren't our kids. Millennials are our little brothers and sisters, it seems like. I don't think that Gen X was long enough to be a whole thing, at least. And I think that has to do with like how big the baby boomer thing was, like, and how long it lasted. So we're the beginning of it. And it was such a big generation that we're the beginning of it, and the millennials are the end of it. And then the millennials are also the end of the millennials are also, some of the oldest Gen Xers can have millennial kids, I guess. But, it's just the beginning there, I think. Because if you look, what was the Gen X is from 80. So from 65 to 80, you're only 15. Like you can't have, you know what I mean? If you were born in 65, you're not having kids in 80. You know what I mean? Like you're having kids in whatever it would be, 85, or not even like 89 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're having kids at the end of that. Anyway. And I figured it's because it's not just every 20 years, because otherwise the generations would be like, these 2 decades and these 2 decades, and then these 2 decades and these 2 decades. But it's shifted all over, and I think it's because the greatest generation is, or not the greatest generation, the boomers are so damn big. Because the greatest generation wasn't that big. The silent generation was before the greatest, right? And they were kind of big, but they weren't that big. And then the boomers were just massive compared to everybody. And then it's not the millennials, it's that Gen Z are huge again, right?
I don't have a clue.
I don't know. I'm just trying to remember some of the conversations that we've had or that I've seen take place about this stuff.
Yeah, and different publications differ.
Yeah.
What's it say on Xenials are a thing too? I don't have a clue what that is.
Nope, never heard of it.
That is, again, the concept that some of us are the end of the millennials and the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
The beginning of millennials because of, again, like your boomer parents could have had both Gen X and millennial kids type of thing. But I don't think it's possible. Only like a kid who had a kid at 15 could ever be a Gen X with a millennial kid is all I guess what I'm getting at. Like you have to have unique circumstances to have a Gen X with a millennial kid. Like our kids are Gen Z, I guess. When do we start having kids? Our generation started having kids like late 80s.
Yeah, mine were 85 and 88.
Mine was 2005 and 20. What year's 2020?
Wow.
Yeah, there's one that just kind of slipped out there at the end. Ugh.
And I have a 12-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah, well, I was, I
What?
think,
How long is it? How long has we been chatting? Seemed like it was only yesterday she was a baby.
Well, I got 2 granddaughters.
Oh, see, you messed with everybody. Everybody thinks they went to some kind of time warp tonight.
No, the last one, she's not even quite 2 months old yet.
I had our first was I was 30. I don't know, I'd have to do the math, but so had mine later, I guess considered later in life. And then the youngest was later, way later in life.
Let's see, when I came along, my parents were 36.
I don't give the dates of my parents' age because I don't want scammers to know anybody's maiden name or birth date or anything like that.
Oh, they can look that up.
Yep, use it against me. Start putting things on bills in my name.
Let's see.
So
I'm a
this
pediatrician. That stuff's easy to find. Trust me.
this is the SIG so far. Got the FCU in it. It came with the flat trigger. I put in the magazine release and low profile magwell. And this is the X carry frame. Wilson Combat will sell this factory takeoffs. So if they upgrade, change the frame, the factory takes off the frame, and then Wilson Combat will sell them. So for like $20.
Now, when you get a slide for that, you're going to need suppressor heights.
Yeah,
And
that's
don't forget that you can get those at excesssites.com. And they're having a President's Day sale this weekend, just so you know.
they're from what I hear, they're the fastest sight in any light.
They are the fastest and even cheaper this weekend by 30%.
So yeah, and I don't know if I'll get a complete slide or a strip slide. Just kind of how when I go to buy one, depending on how much money I have at the time. So, but that's where we are so far. And I went through. I don't have a lot of guns, but somehow every time I count them, they seem to have multiplied. There's more than I remember there should be. I don't know how that keeps happening.
That's how it should be because you forget you got some of them.
I don't know because there's when I went through and counted today, there was, because since I got to have 2 FCUs, that counts as 2. But there's 7 more than I was expecting, not just 2 more. I don't. They seem to be breeding, and I don't know how to stop them. Mr. Bob, the baby boomer generation, 46 to 64, Gen X.
See how many years is that? 46 is 4 and 4, 8. That's 18 years. And 18. A lot of them are only like less than 15.
So it's Gen X, 65 to 79. So 24. Millennials, 80 to 94. It's another, so 24. Gen Z.
80? to 90 is 10, and then 14.
Or, oh,
Right? 80 to 90 is 10, and
oh,
then 4.
yeah, I said 20.
You did.
Oh, yeah, 14. Sorry.
So 14, yeah.
So Gen Z 95 to 12 and Generation Alpha 2013 to 2025.
What? So, no. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's current
yeah. So,
year.
but that's still 7 and 5, 12 years. See, it makes no sense. They just randomly decide some of them are going to be 12 and some are going to be 18. Because that's where I think the baby boomers, you pick that specific, whatever it is, 18 years, and it's like, yeah, it's a massive group or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, there's something to it.
Yeah, somebody has nothing to do than to make up these generations.
A Vulcan Rebel said, "Don't tell the divorce attorneys." Yeah, that's. I'm a little nervous about the day that she asked how many I have. Because when I started, it was only going to be 3. I wanted a subcompact, compact or a full size handgun, and then a rifle. So just 3.
Well, yeah, but if you said to somebody like, "Oh, you've never painted before, how many paintbrushes are you going to need?" And then they go, well, "I don't know, I guess a fat one and a skinny one and another one, so 3." And then you start painting and you're like, "Oh no, I need like dozens and dozens of brushes for what I do." Nobody's going to go like, "Oh, you can only have 3 brushes to paint with. What are you doing? It's wasted."
Well, I will say that my wife did know me well enough when we all started this, and I had talked to her about buying my first gun, and she goes, "So are you collecting?" Because I have a habit of, if there's something I like, I want a lot of that thing. And I'm no, 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 just the 3. And yeah, Mr. Bob.
You go into a hobby though, you can't be expected to know the details of the hobby or like what your future interests are going to be. So, like say you can superficially get into painting or something with 3 paintbrushes, but once you get into it, you're like, "Oh, I need way more paintbrushes than this."
It's kind of like all of us. I think if you'd asked me the first or second year I got into gun ownership, if I'd ever end up with what I got now, I'd told you were crazy. But you just don't know what's coming until it comes.
What she does know about some of them, because I have told her some of them, but we have kind of a don't ask, don't tell policy. She doesn't really want to know, and I don't really want to tell her. Um, but just some of it was just as I started taking people to the range, I wanted different examples of different calibers and different styles, so new shooters could try out different things and experience them.
Like you wouldn't
That's
get mad if your wife had more than one vacuum, or more than one, I don't know, cleaning sponge or something. Like you're allowed to have those things.
Oh, she has how many vacuums? 1, 2, 3, at least 3. I was thinking there was another one. Well, no, I've got. I guess the shop vacs are mine.
Pink has a good point there at the end.
Can a gun you build really be considered one that you bought because you were just buying parts that happen to fit together?
It's got a point.
You were just buying gun parts, and maybe one day you put those parts together. Big deal.
Look, they fit this gun.
Buying guns, you're buying tiny gun parts.
That's if you look at like the SIG FCU, that's considered the gun part. That's the serial part, but actually just the frame that holds all the parts. So that bent metal piece is the serialized part. The trigger and all that, those are not a gun. Those are just parts for the gun. So if you buy every piece separately, that kind of taco shaped bent piece of metal, that's the serialized part. that's the part you have to register with the government, and all it is a little piece of metal that's bent. Just seems kind of ridiculous. Wood said, ask her how many shoes she's got. I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
You only need one pair of shoes for fancy stuff, one pair of shoes for working, and one pair of shoes. That's it. You only need 2 pairs of shoes. So
he said his wife has 40 to 50. I don't know. Is 3 enough to do a bracket?
I don't know. Depends on the kind of bracket, I suppose.
Should we do a bracket?
You always should do a bracket.
All right, we'll do a 3-person bracket.
Let's get it on!
All right, so let me get our pictures up here so we can see what we're
on this show. We're gonna have enough brackets already.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
Is your bracket engine overheating? Your warning light went on your bracket?
No, I gotta call up the photos so we can look at the photos. Let's see if this works right. Hopefully I can...
In the notes that tonight's bracket will be more of a quiz. So everybody has to get out a piece of paper, get ready for like a 2-hour intensive quiz. It's like a test.
There we go. So it's a fighter bracket. Historical fighters. Such as the Apache.
Which Apache?
Aztec.
Okay.
Like the Pontiac Aztec?
No.
Oh, okay.
Bedouin.
Okay.
Cossacks.
I broke my Cossacks once.
Egyptians.
That's the best picture you come up with?
Walk like an Egyptian.
Well, it was there are no historical photos, so it's a little limited.
In the 80s.
The Hoplites, the kind of elite Greeks.
Oh, okay.
The Huns.
I can see this one.
Medieval knight.
Crossbow. Done.
Mongols. Yeah, the Mongols are similar to the Huns. Nobody's really sure where the Huns came from.
Huns come from Germany. Mongols come from Mongolia, no?
I don't know the little bit of research I did. There seemed to be some doubt on the origin. Ninjas.
Well, they win. Ninjas have just won the event.
Polynesians. Romans. Samurai. Shaolin monks.
Oh, snap.
Vikings.
I guess got a tiny
Zulu.
pick.
What's that?
That one guy had a tiny pickaxe.
And the Zulu warriors. And so kind of the parameters for this will be
One-on-one or armies fighting each other?
One-on-one. So basically one-on-one with equivalent weapons.
Ninja
just to
wins.
make it a little bit fair.
You can stick around to the end. Ninja's going to win this whole thing.
Let me get the actual bracket up here so we can see.
It's a good one.
Screen.
I feel like we're wasting this barbecue and pink and woods, and everybody should jump in. Anybody else who knows where to get the link, just jump in so we can have a bunch of people.
It's always better with more.
That's right.
Did you see some movie or something where this came up?
No, just what I was thinking of. Whatever the next bracket would be, this is what came to mind.
You could do something with like science fiction with somebody who could pull people out of time, and then mix it with one of those type of people that steals people from all around and puts them in a museum, where you pick people from all out of time and then make them fight with each other. You know, some kind of alien bum boxing or whatever they call that.
There was a TV show where they would bring people in and then do scientific measurements on.
Oh, yeah. And then go like, look at how much force these Chacos have.
Yeah. And so then I liked the show, the principle. There was some of the testing I thought they didn't quite do it the right way. But kind of like with Mythbusters, when they would do any of the myths that dealt with people, like strength, they would measure their own strength. Well, you're tackling this myth. There are people that are stronger than you or tougher than you. You're measuring the average person. And the myth might be somebody that's above average.
Yeah, or just within the realm of human, like not even just the only person, but like a group of people are higher than average, right? And like many of them might, or the other way around, like you're way stronger and, there's a whole bunch of people who couldn't do this just because you could do it.
But so our first matchup is a Mongol against a Hoplite. So the Hoplites are, the 300, the movie 300. Those were Hoplites.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like with Greek, I don't think a lot of people understand the city-state idea. When you think of a Greek warrior, they think of all of Greek, but each city was its own nation.
When I think of Greek warriors, I think about what they do when they're not fighting, and I'll pass on all that. You can have that.
But making yogurt and goat cheese?
Yeah, somehow yogurt and goat cheese was invented, and it wasn't the way you'd expect, so I'll leave that to the Greeks.
So Mongol versus Hoplite. I gotta. There we go. Get my comments up here. G-Webs.
Is there going to be any consequences to tonight's poll? Like, is there something so we have stake is in the game? Is there something at risk or something that we're going to win?
Probably not.
Okay.
Just you will win my admiration.
I'm going to go with the Mongol because the Mongols would fight in a circle and they would start to kill things and slaughter things until they got to the center of the circle. And then, what is that? A bunch of paratroopers landing? What's going on outside? So since that's the beginning of Red Dawn, I'm going to keep Mongols.
Gary.
I guess I'm going to have to go with Mongols too, because that's the only one I'd heard of prior to today. So obviously they're much more famous.
You never seen 300?
No.
It's some story about 300 dudes kicked the crap out of like armies of people because they stood at these like rock canyon or like gates to their city or something, and like a natural terrain or something, and they just were strong and like whatever, like determined, and they kicked. Well, that's the story, right? The 300 of them kicked the shit out of a whole army.
Well, it wasn't just 300. They kind of led the forces, but there were a lot of other soldiers that followed those 300. They were kind of the elite, the spearhead,
okay,
as they say.
But it's an interesting. It's kind of a stylized movie. It's like a comic book movie or like a
it's based on a comic book.
Oh, okay, that's why. So it's very stylized. So that's what he said.
Fred Miller is a comic book guy.
So spearheads, they were in 3rd Armored Division?
They were definitely fighting with like robes or like skirts and robes and spears. Like it was old ass fighting before any kind of I mean, they must have had slings and bow and arrow probably, but they were mostly fighting with spears and like
Kind of
sword.
most ancient warriors armies fought with spears mostly. You had the bows and arrows long range, and then once you start getting closer, everybody has spears.
It was all wars of attrition. So yeah, like the only way you get tons of people to fight with each other is when you get them next to each other. You don't have enough bows and arrows to fight each other that way.
But let me go back up here. Mr. Bob said I was hoping for a group of hillbillies with skinny knives.
Hillbilly has armed a whole group of those people, if you think about it.
Yes. Skinny knife army.
Justin Grimm said hoplite all the way. Woods, Mongols won because of horseback archery. Yeah, they had God, I forget what the draw strength on. They were kind of short bows, but they were had a really high draw strength for their size.
Samurais could shoot from a bow. Army could shoot from horseback. So you don't have Native Americans in there, but that was the thing that held off the United States Army for 120 years.
And Justin Grimm said, yeah, spear and shield. But I'm going to vote hoplite, but the Mongols are moving forward. So now we've got Polynesian versus the Shaolin monk.
That would be an interesting fight.
It would be different. The Polynesians, they seafaring society, moved across the Pacific Ocean, inhabited all the islands. Moana kind of tells the tale. It mixes together a lot of different cultures.
Do they kick much, or is it all upper body strength and they're punching and wrestling?
Yeah, I think there's a little kicking, not a lot. As they'll use like a club with shark teeth in it, or club with knobs on it.
Yep.
So which one are you going? You going Kung Fu or Polynesian?
Definitely Kung Fu. I mean, it would be interesting, but that's like The Rock versus Jackie Chan. Rock's big and shit, but Jackie Chan would just he'd bring more to the table. I mean, Rock would hurt Jackie Chan if he hit him, but Jackie Chan wouldn't stand around to get hit very often.
Gary.
Yeah, I got to go with the Shaolin monk.
So 2 for the Shaolin monks. Wood said Polynesians are often massive dudes. There is a little bit of difference between ancient Polynesians and modern Polynesians, and nobody's really sure why like Samoans got so big. Some say it's just protein. As they've increased their protein, they increase their size.
It's all that pahoy-hoy.
But it's because they're not huge. The more ancient Polynesians aren't large. It's kind of like, I guess, with mankind is in general, as the protein, and they're able to eat more proteins. People have gotten bigger as time has gone along.
Populations can be more affected by situations than larger continental populations, right? Like continental population is going to intermix all they want, but in an island, if all of a sudden people start getting big, well, then what's to stop them from getting bigger and bigger? If like just the breeding or whatever you want to say, like there's just a smaller population, and if the small gets bred out of the population, I'm just thinking that just we happen to be talking about getting bigger, but if they went taller, or if they went fatter or something, like anything genetic, bunch of left-handed people, right? Like that could happen. You put like too many left-handed people on an island, they start breeding with each other, and then next thing you know, like that island's full of left-handed people, much predominantly. Toilet starts spinning the wrong way, and who knows what all happened. Chaos would happen like that. But, I guess what I'm saying, is it possible for things to happen stronger in a smaller population?
It's possible. I don't know, because you look at animals. There's on the island, you get like large versions of different animals. What you would
like in Australia, right? You get different
Yeah.
like branches of the tree or something, I guess.
The Saint said everyone was kung fu fighting.
Or they just
Um,
were rowing the shit out of stuff. Yeah.
that's what Justin Grimm said. Rowing boats.
Like maybe if you lived in Hawaii, you had to fight currents more, or you had more reason to row around the island. You know what I mean? Like, it probably just maybe did more. I mean, they had to have more protein, like you're saying. Like, you can't do it without having the supply. But
I'm gonna vote. I have to vote Polynesian. I'm required to.
reasons.
Yeah, I'm half Samoan, so I have to. That's why I'm only half, so I'm only half size. That's why I'm not as large as some of the other Samoans and not as dark. The Samoans think I'm white. Everybody else thinks I'm Mexican.
Do you have a craving for pineapple all the time?
Yes.
Half of the time, I should say.
Yes, I do love pineapple. It'll make my mouth water if I think about pineapple.
Macadamia nuts, same way.
Not as much.
And those
So
are the
now
only
we've
two in Hawaii, as far as I know. Oh, wait, and spam. Spam also.
now we've got Ninja versus Zulu. G-Webs. Going Ninja or Zulu?
That the ninja would win. The ninja would take pity at some point, maybe, and not slaughter all the Zulus, but the ninjas would win. The Zulus wouldn't even know there was a battle going on. They would just start falling off from the edges or whatever, from the ninja darts or whatever happens.
Oh, well, one of the things about the ninjas is they fought unconventionally. So techniques that were
Like
different
the Zulus would
that
be
people
hitting
weren't used to seeing.
whatever, and they would just start falling off. And like, what happened? All the Zulus didn't even show up. Yeah, like the ninjas took care of them as they were getting ready.
Gizzard. Uh-oh. Did he fall down?
Ninja got
Can't
him.
get up?
He's got a ninja in the room with
Oh,
him.
I was muted. I said you can't bet against a ninja, so I'm gonna have to go with ninja.
So 2 for Ninja.
You ever seen Shaft in Africa? That's the only thing I can think of. And then there's there's a Zulu movie.
Shaka Zulu.
Oh no, I didn't think of that one. Or wait, is Shaka Zulu about the war?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah. Maybe
Well, there's
like a war from a train or something. Like they took a train. Like, oh, we're gonna attack Africa. Let's make a train and then just shoot from it. I don't know.
that's different, I think, than Shaka Zulu.
Okay.
Wood said Zulu will F you up in Africa. Ask the British.
Well, what the British did wrong is not bring a shit ton of ninjas.
I'm actually. Oh, this one's a little tougher than I thought.
I always get the impression that Zulus have to have a bunch of Zulus around because they got spears. So I don't think they're fighting too many other people.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is an interesting matchup. I'm gonna vote Zulu, and I'm not sure why. My gut says Zulu, but Ninja's gonna move on. So now we've got the Aztec versus the Bedouin. It's a strange matchup there. G-Webs.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. Somebody had to get in a boat for this one. Aztec, though, they're pretty hardcore, and they have spaceships. So
Aztec. Gary.
Well, just to make it interesting, I'm gonna go with the Bedouin on this one.
Bedouin. Yeah. So you got curved knives versus obsidian knives.
Well, they never talked about it because everybody smashed them, but I would bet you dollars to donuts that the Aztecs were walking around with gold. What's gold and copper mixed together? Like, I'll bet you they were walking around with that mix, but I'll bet you they were walking around with solid gold stuff that no one talks about. So I don't think they just had the obsidian, but the obsidian would F you up pretty good.
Yeah, the obsidian, if you chip the blade, it just makes a new blade. I guess I'm gonna go Aztec.
I mean, Bedouins, what is that, Middle East? Like, they've
Yeah.
been around kicking the crap out of each other for a long time and people that come mess with them. But I think they often use their terrain, just the experience and their terrain. So, anyway, I'm going with Aztec. I would have gone with Aztec on most any of these.
2-4,
Oh,
2A for USA. It's out there.
the gold would have been, I'm thinking they probably mix it with copper or something, but I'm just saying, I'm sure they had metal. And if it was just the blades or something, that I don't know, but I'm thinking they had some metal. They didn't just have.
Oh, what's it? Aztecs, unless you cough on them.
It's too soon for that.
Mr. Bob, did the Bedouin have those 20-foot long rifles too? They had the long rifles on their horses and camelback, and instead of a buttstock, they had like a large pad that fit under the armpit, so they could steady it.
If you notice, like if you watch YouTube videos and stuff of today, even, and you watch somebody who has like what are those things called? A pistol caliber carbine. Whenever anybody has one of those in their 9mm shooter, they often put the stock under their shoulder or under their armpit like that because they don't know how to shoot a rifle. So they're not used to it. So it's foreign to them.
Oh, so Aztec is moving on. Now we've got the Huns versus the Romans. That's another interesting one. Here, G-Webs.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with Hun. I don't know. Romans kicked the crap out of the Huns, I think, but I'm going to give it to the Huns anyway, just to mess with the history.
Oh,
No, maybe
Gary.
Mongols. Who did the Romans kick the shit out of? Pretty much a lot of people, though.
Let's go with Romans.
What for Romans? That's I don't know. This is kind of a tough one, I think.
I mean, I figure I always thought of the Huns as the Germans pre whatever Dark Ages, I guess. Like, I don't really think about it too much, but I thought it was the Germans who came down from Europe, and I got the impression that they stopped Romans from coming up into Europe, or did they? Or did the Romans take over all of Europe? I don't really follow their history all that much. And
a good portion of it.
The Mongols were what stopped the Romans from going further into Asia. So that's what I think of, like Huns and.
Well, the Huns made it all the way into France. Wood said Romans won by sheer numbers.
Yeah, they would like take over a country, take all the fighting people, and turn them into soldiers, and then go slaughter them, right, or use them for.
Yeah, the Romans would just say, "Hey, join us. You can be a part of us. You can keep your society, but you're just going to be under our rule."
Well, and then you got to give us all your dudes, and then they would take them dudes and fight the next country over. But yeah, like they had a system going.
But remember, this is more one-on-one, not army versus army.
Yeah, okay, one-on-one. So I see what you're saying. I still think, well, that's a good point. A Roman by himself would be pretty capable, though. But I suspect a Hun, because there's fewer of them, would have been fairly capable too. And they'd have no rules. Or a Roman would be like, "I'm going to fight you with my sword." Wait, what are you doing with a bow and arrow?
I think the Roman would be highly trained, but the Hun would be have experience.
Yeah,
hard living experience. Ozzy said the Huns were tougher. When I was in grade school, there was a book I read in the front. We had in the library. It was called something like the Golden Hind, the Golden Deer, and it was about Attila the Hun. And basically, the book was saying that Attila was just trying to find a homeland for his people. I thought
Attila the Hun.
I always thought it was interesting. I'm not sure. Scrappiness or training?
I still say when you put them one-on-one, there's a bunch of these like Zulus, Romans, Vikings even, that were really, their strength was their massive army.
Yeah.
Right? That's what did it. And I don't know if those soldiers, if they drop them, I'm sure they're rugged or whatever. I just don't know if they, if you're used to fighting in a phalanx or whatever, then you're not going to ninja. That's all I'm saying. Is a ninja's by himself from the beginning. Like nothing about a ninja isn't fight dirty, be by yourself. There was no herds of ninjas, right? Well, some of us can hire herds of ninjas, but most people ninjas are one-on-one.
2A for USA is asking Roman with armor.
I'm assuming everybody's armed to the teeth or whatever was their thing
Yeah.
at the time. And we
Armed
got
with
they're also like the one who's multi-skilled, right? Like it's not just the guy who knows how to hold a spear and a phalanx.
Yeah.
It's somebody who can do all of it.
I guess I'll go Hun. I don't know.
And I think the armor is a disadvantage in a lot of ways. Again, the armor was like, hey, we're all standing around like a big gang of us.
Well,
then put armor on.
that'll come up in the next matchup here. Medieval Knight versus a Cossack. So you've got speed versus a tank, basically. And there are different levels of armor for knights. As they progress, they got heavier and heavier armored. But we'll go with the fully armored knight versus a Cossack.
Well, we all know from D&D that you have your padded armor, and then you have your chainmail armor, and then you have your plate mail armor.
Yeah.
So your leather, and then your chain, and then your plate. So you're talking full plate.
Yeah.
But you can be plate with chain underneath it, and that's double duty, I think.
So which you gonna go with the knight or the Russian?
Well, the Cossacks got their ass kicked by the communists, right? So I'm going to go with the Cossacks because I don't think knights are nice when they're fighting each other, but they're useless against anybody else because of their giant tin can that can't move around.
Yeah, well, it's full plate. Ooh. I didn't when I was thinking of this matchup, I didn't think about, are they both on horseback? So a knight in armor with
horseback makes them all better, right? Like except for maybe the knights, because they would fall off of that thing and be useless
So
if they didn't have a group of people.
Cossack on a horse versus a knight on a horse.
Cossack on a horse, I'm guessing, would be pretty deadly. Like they're like a Mongol on a horse. Like they knew everything about horses.
Yeah, originally I was thinking of stand-up fighting, but I didn't consider on horseback.
I think it should be just two of them fighting, because otherwise the horse gives some of an advantage. Because if, I don't know, somebody in here who doesn't have anything to do with horses, Shaolin monk, well, they do ride horses, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like if they're not really a horse thing, then that's not an advantage to them at all. But some of them almost always were on a horse. Like a Roman and a Spartan, like they weren't on horses ever, were they? If they were, there was like in a chariot.
Yeah. So I guess we'll say stand-up fighting rather than horseback fighting. Although, yeah, we'll just go stand-up fighting.
The knight on horseback can only use that pole or whatever. So, and again, they need like a group of 3 squires or whatever to like put them back on there. So they'd be too rigid, and they need
So
like
Gary?
I've never been to a Russian fair, but I have been to a Renaissance fair, so I'm going to have to go with Medieval Knights on this one.
Snap.
Medieval Knight.
Those are the giant turkey legs. That's
Yeah.
what got you.
Oh, yeah. They ate well.
They're over there eating borscht. and whatever.
Drinking mead. Yeah.
Speed versus power.
Power. How powerful can you be when you got tin cans all on your arms and stuff? Like a sword fight with a full-plated knight? I wouldn't be scared of a sword fight that many days. Just start poking at their elbows or something. But even if somebody was in full plate armor and you had a sword and you just kept hitting them with it, like it'd be like being inside a trash can with somebody smashing on it. It'd be drive you nuts. Like it wouldn't necessarily hurt you, but it would be super loud.
2A Said the Cossacks were horse people. They live and died by their horses. Woods. Okay, knight with a flail full plate. I think I'm
Okay.
going to go knight.
That
I'm
would
going to
be
go with the knight.
the lance. I wouldn't be as scared of, but you're talking like a mace, right? Like a big piece of metal on the end of a stick with a chain.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little different because he's not going to hurt himself too much. You can just wing that around. You hit you with that, you're pretty much toast.
So the knight's moving on. Now we've got Viking versus Egyptian.
Oh, that's interesting.
Gee webs.
I don't like Vikings, so Egyptians, they're cooler. I don't see no Viking pyramid, although there probably is Viking pyramids.
Gary.
Vikings had beards. Gotta go with Vikings.
What's the name of that Egyptian sword that has like a kind of kink?
Kopesh.
I think those swords a lot.
The bronze Kopesh.
Probably there's like a little kink in it or whatever, like a
Yeah.
roll to it or something. Yeah.
Oh. Wood said Viking.
I agree. The shields could be pretty offensive. So, like something that would be armored with a shield is not just for defense. They can wail on you with a shield pretty good.
Ozzy said he's Viking. Yeah, the Vikings were Germans that settled in a inhospitable land. Wood said,
I think not the Huns. The Hessians are the Germans before, right? When they were
yeah. Wood said Vikings had harder iron weapons. I'm going to go Vikings. I think one-on-one, the Viking would have the advantage.
Well, the thing is, I don't think Egyptians ever fought anybody back in the day. Like modern Egyptians fight Israel all the time or whatever. But like back in the olden days, when have you ever? I never heard of like Egyptians going around kicking anybody's ass or anything. They might have defended themselves.
They were the military power in the Middle East.
Oh yeah,
during their
against
time.
those countries on the whatever that is, that water there. But I mean, it's not like Egyptian.
The Nile.
Yeah, the Nile's just the river, like that whole sea or whatever.
Yeah,
because there's much like Ethiopia and all those countries. I could see them getting in a boat and like owning all those countries, but Egypt never owned like Greece or anything going into the Mediterranean. They never owned. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I never heard of like Egyptian conquest where like Vikings went around taking shit if nobody owned it, right? Like,
well, I think the Vikings did that because they had to. They didn't have resources, so they had to go find resources. But I just
want to be like the Huns or whatever and just take over everything. They kind of were looking for someplace to go. But I think the Egyptians were content. They had their pyramids and they were happy. They lived where they wanted to. Like I say, I don't think of them as fighters, is all I'm saying. I only picked them because they got cool swords and pyramids are cool.
So Vikings are going to move on. Now we've got an Apache versus a samurai.
And also, I'm assuming that the Egyptians could use those laser poles that they use in Stargate. So I was giving them that weapon also. Apache, even though samurais are cool, I got to give it to the people that held off the United States Army for 120 years. No other. Name somebody else who's fought for 120 years and then still exists. They didn't like lose at 120 years. They just had to give up because they were getting their asses kicked, but they still exist and they actually still own land here. So as much, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have tanks and shit, but they managed to fight off people with tanks for 120 fucking years. But I think is there still samurais?
In tradition.
Okay, then definitely Apache, because there's still Apache. And Apaches did like code talking and shit, so Apaches.
Kind of the samurai class kind of morphed into the business class. So a lot of that culture, not the sword swinging, but the
idea of being a fighter.
The society, the rules of society moved into business. Gary, Apache or Samurai?
Samurai.
Samurai. Oh. Yeah, Ozzy said let's ask Custer.
But you could ask the Last Samurai guy. Same thing, different country.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm obligated to vote Samurai.
I mean, a samurai would kick the shit out of an Apache if they were actually fighting. I'm picking Apache because I live here and
Yeah.
I can respect them for what
I
they.
guess I kind of have to vote Samurai. I'm obligated. My wife would be upset if I did not. Wood said the Apache rules because they had horses and other tribes didn't.
Well, most of the tribes out here were minding their business trying to farm, and the Apaches were like, "Fuck that! I'm just going to raid and steal
Well,
shit."
that's what
our
in
farmers."
Washington the resources are so plentiful that they didn't have to really fight over resources.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I never thought about it that way. I guess it makes sense though. I don't think they had to out here. The whatever you call them, tribes that were the aggressors were just dicks. Like I don't think they had to. They could have sat down and farmed. It was a little tougher in the middle of nowhere, but people did it literally everywhere. But the Apaches and like some of the other tribes that were in dicks were just like, fuck it, we got horses. Let's just live our lives ripping off people that do sit around farming like a bunch of suckers.
2A said Apache for sure. And just the the ones I didn't vote for doesn't mean I don't respect them. It's just I have to choose one, and these
And
are
I'm
the
only
ones that I chose.
Apaches because I live here. I don't respect them. Like I say, they were dicks. They kicked the crap out of people. They were horrible people, from what I can understand.
Well, respect their ability, we'll say.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So now we've got the Mongols versus the Shaolin monks. So Mongols versus Chinese. G-Webs.
1-on-1, Kung Fu's gonna kick their ass, but they were strong, and there was never there's no need for a bunch of Shaolin monks to go around being mean to people, but they probably could have if they wanted to, but they didn't want to. So Shaolin monk for sure.
Well, that would kind of be against the
The whole
Shaolin
point.
principles.
But that's what they're for, is to stop people who are massive aggressors for no reason. So, right. So I'm saying Shaolin monk. Actually, it's a good fight because the Mongols would have been running around doing shit, and the monks would have stopped them.
Gary.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Shaolin monks.
So 2 for the monks. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I was going to vote Mongol because I was thinking, the Mongols kind of beat up on everybody, but that was as a group.
And who they were beaten up on and when was like people didn't have a chance to get together and defend themselves yet. They were beating on people, from what I understand, that were like one step away from being tribes or whatever, or clans or something. You know what I mean? They were just like groups of people minding their business, and they would have come out and whoop on them. It's not like they were fighting armies, right? Or at least
Wood said Mongols were bloodthirsty savages. Well, isn't it like God, I forget, a third of the world has Genghis Khan DNA?
generational.
He conquered and banged so many. I guess I'm gonna go Shaolin monk. I just like kung fu movies. So we'll move. Shaolin monk moves forward. Now we've got ninja versus Aztec. G-Webs.
Ninja.
Ninja. That was kind of a given, I know, but
The
I
Aztec
still
would
have
be
to
great
ask.
about like how to put giant blocks of stone together in crazy ways like a jigsaw puzzle, and then Ninja would grab them when they're doing all that.
Well, what if the Aztec threw a jaguar at the ninja?
Then the ninja
Ah!
would turn it into a ninja pouch made out of jaguar and a bunch of poison jaguar pellets or something. Like
Well,
it
he's
would
just
just
got a jaguar in his backpack, and he goes, rah, throws it. I used to throw my cat at people. Rah!
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing. Like if you had like some kind of wall and then you were fighting people in a jungle, I wouldn't be surprised if they winged cats and shit like that, jaguars and panthers and shit over the wall at you. Like doesn't cost them nothing to go grab a jaguar and throw it over the wall. They could have done it.
Gary, which one are you going?
No contest here. I'm going with the ninja.
Ninja, 2 for ninjas.
Do you know back in the castle days they would throw with the trebuchets or whatever, they would throw dead stuff into the castles to
Yeah.
try to plague and shit or whatever.
Well, they would throw beehives.
That's you're like, man, I wish they'd quit this siege. A bunch of bees flying around.
Ozzy said ninja. Woods said ninjas had metal.
Mongols had
2A
Oh,
had
they-
said he voted for Mongol.
like the Mongols had stone spears or not spears, arrows. I figured they had metal.
I think I'm gonna go ninja.
Oh, I'm reading it wrong. The Aztecs didn't have metal. Yeah, I got you.
2A said mosquitoes would get ninjas long before they got the Aztecs.
That's interesting. Who's that?
Gary just downloaded.
It's the new
Did we
tone.
lose?
Answer
We lose Gary?
No, I just playing with my phone.
Oh, I thought you uploaded into heaven.
No, I didn't know it would make noise. I apologize.
So now we've got the Huns versus the medieval knights.
Hun.
Hun. One for
They
Hun.
wanted. They only got fur on, right? So they're gonna dance around and jab that knight in his ankles and knees and ankle or elbows and shit.
Gary.
I still got to go with the knights.
One for the knight.
A knight is like a tank. It's only good enough against another tank. When you got like somebody with a limpet mine, like they'll just take out the tank. Or an RPG-7.
Well, I'm leaning towards knight. Yeah, if you've got 2 or 3 people, they can take down the knight because they can group
Push
up on him and tackle him. Yeah, but one-on-one,
At night, like, do you know what I mean? Like, put them off balance a little bit and they're done. And then you just poke them in the elbows all you want. Plus, did the Huns have a strong enough bow to go through plate? Like, it doesn't take but a crossbow to go through plate. So I'll bet you some of them old ass fashioned bows go right through plate. But plate with chainmail underneath of it, I don't know. You're still making that knight not love his job anymore if you're poking him with things that go, through either one or into either one.
2A said Hun. Wood said full plate, shield, flail. Shield, bash, then flail. My gut says knight.
With a shield and flail, all right, but still, you knock him over, and what's a knight going to do? Like, get my flail back. That's not fair. It's not honorable. Give me back mine. Let me up.
So the knight's moving on. Now we've got Viking versus samurai. G-webs.
Vikings. Oh, samurai, hands down. Wouldn't even be funny. Viking would be like, oh, and try to drink or something, yell something, and then the samurai would already have killed him.
So 1 for samurai. Gary.
Well, they both have beards, but the Vikings are more impressive, so I'm gonna go with Vikings here.
So
We can
one for
we can take all of these clips, and then whenever Gizzard is talking about football, we can be like, play him, and it'll sound like Gizzard talking about Vikings are pretty good. I got to back the Vikings. He says a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna go Samurai. Due he said Viking. So now we've got Monk versus
Old for you.
Ninja. Shaolin Monk versus a ninja.
This is where it really comes to a head. Saying Ninja. Shaolin Monk would put up a good fight, but Ninja would get him. There's been plenty of movies that prove this. This is
One
actually
for
more
Ninja.
proven.
Gary.
Like I say, never bet against a ninja.
Pretty sure I've even seen Ninja versus the Shaolin Monk, name of the movie.
Oh, I do love kung fu movies, but I am a Shokasugi fan. I guess I'm gonna go ninja. So
If
ninja
I
is
had
gonna.
to watch a movie, I'd rather watch a kung fu movie than a ninja movie. But
The ninja is sneaking forward. So now we've got knight versus knight, medieval knight versus a samurai.
samurai all day and night. That knight's elbows and knees and hips and neck and face would be all. The rest of them would be fine, but his knees and elbows and face and stuff would be a hamburger.
Yeah, and everybody else had voted ninja too. 2A, Ozzy, Woods all said ninja.
Oh, at the end, I can tell you about my new gun. Something made me think if I just got a new gun. But I'll wait till this is all over.
So Gary,
Well, you've never heard anybody say, I'm going to go all samurai on your ass, but you have had them say, I'm going to go medieval on your ass. So I'm going with the medieval knights.
and one for medieval knight. Wood said full plate wins.
I feel like you never put armor on. Like it's so heavy. All you got to do is even think about being off balance.
I'm gonna go samurai.
I think some of them even had a kickstand in their butt so that they could not fall over. Oh,
No,
I'm not
that's what your page was for.
even.
Sit on him.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like they had to sit down and stuff. Like that shit was heavy.
Oh, now we've got ninja versus samurai.
Well, this happened every single day, as far as I know, back in the day. So,
The
anyway,
natural foes. Ninja versus samurai.
this is like just a walk. This is the kind of shit you would encounter if you were trying to walk home from school back in the day, or try to walk to this corner market. This kind of shit was happening on the streets.
So which one are you going for, ninja or samurai?
Ninja, is it going to win it all? Ninja, Ultimate Warrior.
Ninja. Gary.
Samurai putting on a good fight. He'd be being all honorable and shit. And as he's putting on his helmet, that's when the ninja got him.
It wouldn't be fun if Foss didn't have to make the final decision, so I'm going to go with samurai here.
Oh, that's why I guess $3. He knows how to get the drama and the view time. This could have ended already. It would have been over.
Dwayne said, who would have thunk it?
Barney Fife would have kicked all of them.
With his one bullet.
That's
Would he
right.
keep getting one bullet, or would there only have been the one bullet?
Oh, I'm gonna go samurai.
Oh, upset.
Ozzy said Ninja Turtle. Woods and ninjas cheat. Poison dart, run away.
Yep, hide, poison dart, and book it. Some controversial decision. This one is going to go down as one of the most controversial brackets ever.
So the samurai has been voted the best fighter.
Isn't the frog often portrayed as a samurai?
Yeah. But we don't have dude in a leather jacket and sunglasses on the list, so they didn't get a matchup.
Now, John Belushi portrayed a samurai on Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
He
and he was
did.
I guess that's not a leather jacket.
But yeah, also there was not a coke-filled samurai on the list. So what you were saying something about a new gun there, G-Webs?
I got a new gun this week. $15. What do you think it is? I paid $15 for it, I mean. I'll let people answer. It's technically a gun.
Are you showing it?
No, because I'm letting people guess what it is.
Oh, you got to guess what it is.
I guess I have to go up here to turn on my camera anyway. I can't show it anyway if it was a gun, right? I have to reload the page.
Oh, wrong button.
Yeah,
We'll
that
get-
was
We'll give him a minute to come back, and then we'll see what he got.
He's being a samurai. He totally disappeared, man.
There he is.
There he is.
You ninja'd away there for a minute.
It made me reload so I could turn on my camera. I got this
Oh.
thing to speak too.
Whoa! What in the world?
Isn't that neat? It's a little frequency sniffer. I don't know how to work it
Okay.
yet, but when it works, it listens to the whole spectrum. It's like a scanner radio, listens to the whole spectrum. And then once it's listening and hears stuff, I don't know how to make it happen. It's got a, what do you call it, a stylus. It's got a little touch screen. But once I figure out how to work it, it'll have a waterfall. So anyway, it's a visual radio scanner. Normally they're $200. I got this for like $40. I was minding my business and watched a video, and the guy goes, "These things are neat, and they're 100 pounds." And I went, "I wonder how much that is in real money." And then I went on Amazon, and they're like 180. And then I was dinking around, and I found this one for 40. All the other ones are 180, and this one was 40. And it's USB-C. It charges up with USB-C.
Well, you got Baofangs around there, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So if I keyed a Baofeng on like 146 whatever, I'd get a spike on here at 146 whatever. And if I keyed another device, garage door opener or something, it would spike at a different. So it's used to like, detect what frequencies are coming out of a device or that kind of thing. And just a neat.
So you can see when the SWAT team is keying up to come visit.
Well, let's say that like a vehicle of some sort is parked somewhere and you suspect that it has radios in it. Yeah, you could walk up and sniff what frequencies it's kicking out. And then there's somewhere in here you can go to this mode where it'll see, so there's a bunch of frequencies right now. Let me grab my stylus. So now it's listening to probably like my Wi-Fi, whatever radio stations. I don't know what this thing can go from 0 to 300 megahertz. So that includes a lot of different things. But whatever this one is seems to be, I don't know how to work it. But this, whenever I watch the videos on it, like I'll be able to click on that and then a thing will come up and I'll be able to go to the mode config. No. You would think it would be mode, but it ain't mode. But anyway, you can go to here and say, like, listen to this one, listen to this one. They're not all radio frequencies, but when they are, you can listen to it out of here. So it's almost like having a visual version of a scanner. Yeah, I
Bink was
think,
asking, don't they use those to copy car fobs?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'll be able to get the frequency of the fob for darn sure, but like what I do with that frequency, I'd have no idea what to do with that. So, I mean, kind of, but not me. Like, I don't know what to do with it. But
Yeah,
anyway, it's
Woods
just
is angry. He said, I thought you said gun.
I did, but I'm letting everybody guess. Is anybody guessing on what gun I got for $15?
Oh, I thought you were showing what you got.
No, I was just doing this in the meantime while everybody was guessing, but
Oh.
nobody's guessing. Anyway, I got one of them bug assault guns where it shoots salt. Can't show it on here because they'll probably call it a gun, right? But you know what I'm talking about, where you just
Yeah.
it shoot a puff of salt at a bug or whatever.
Yeah,
They
That
seem
comfortable?
cool, except I don't want to have to clean up all the salt you shoot.
I was playing with it at somebody's house one time, and it's, you know, like on you know, those things that are salt.
Yeah,
The things that you get that are salt that are like two little tubes, and you break them.
yeah.
It's half of that is how much it shoots. Like one tube of that salt thing is what it shoots. So it is salt, but it's not a ton. It's not that many. It's not
The
that
newer
much.
ones use less salt than the originals. I know that.
Oh, okay. This is a
true.
3.0, so I think it's the newer one. I haven't opened it. It's still in the package. But anyway, I just decided for $15, I might as well grab it. Because they're like $50 normally.
I don't know. You need to make an Amazon video of that signal sniffer because
Oh, I
Two-Way said he wants to buy one.
Ooh, yes, you do.
definitely. Yeah, see, right? Because they're like $200 normally. I'll put a link and shit once I get a minute. I just literally got it today and had to go do stuff, and I haven't even played with that. It doesn't come with any instructions, is lame, but I'm guessing it works just like all the others. So I'll just watch some videos and other people playing with theirs. But let's say that you're traveling or something, and you're traveling down the road. It's not so much now anymore, but back in the day, like if you were driving next to a truck or something, and you might be wondering what channel he's broadcasting on. Well, each of the CB frequencies have their own channel. That's why they're channels, right? Like, you know, they're all just a couple of numbers off from each other. But that would tell you, yeah, like which one he's broadcasting from, and then you'd be able to listen to that channel. So it might be interesting, you know, if you walk up to a sporting event and you see a bunch of spikes, you might get some of the GMRS, the frequencies that are owned by like the different television channels or security companies or some of that kind of stuff. You know, you just hear some of the background chatter of the people putting the event together.
You need to figure out what the frequency for the police transponders are.
Well, those are already available when you or whenever somebody's interested in that. There's well, because they're purchased, right? Like they're bought or whatever. They're like registered with the FCC. You can just go to the FCC and it'll tell you, sort of like a phone number. Like everybody knows what the phone number is. So those are just common knowledge. This would be more like you might know which ones there are, but if you walked up to a vehicle and list, you know, use this thing, it'll tell you which one they're using from that vehicle. Like the police might have 4 frequencies that they could use, but this is telling you which one they are using. And it's also useful for, I don't know if those GPS things use signal, but like maybe like an ELT, like some kind of an emergency transmitter might send out a pulse on some signal. Like you could walk up to that thing and listen, and you'd know which frequency the pulse is coming out on. There's nothing to listen to. It's just a beep. It's like a digital beep, but at least you'd know what channel that digital beep is gonna be on. And I don't know nothing about antennas. I got a ham and shit, but I've never paid attention to antennas enough. I just jam whatever antenna I got onto my radios, so I don't do that right. But that's one of the things you use this for also, is to tune antennas, I think, to make sure that like you key your radio or something, you make sure that you're getting peak signal or something at your frequency and not near it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know antennas yet, but that's one of the reasons people get this. But it's that little thing. I was showing you a lame version of it. Like it can look cooler that display that on my device there, and that's the most expensive ham radios use that display. So for me, it's like, okay, now I can play with that display without having to pay for a whole new ham radio that's like $3,000 or something. I can grab the link right away so that you don't have to wait for me to go find the link or set up something. I got to go into my history and figure out my order. I can't get my shit to show up on the screen. Are you talking about movies at all tonight, or?
We can. I don't think I've watched anything new since the last time we talked about movies.
I'm trying to keep up with whatever Gizzard's been watching.
Well, you're already caught up then.
There you
He's
go.
like, I can't watch movies. I got a granddaughter. I got
That's
a new
right.
granddaughter. I can't watch a movie. I can't take the time to watch a movie.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new that was looking forward to.
You're not going to watch the new Captain America?
I don't know. What's use that at Walmart to find walkie-talkies. The walkie-talkies then tune into your own walkie-talkie. Send a
Yes.
worker to the gun counter so someone is there when you go in.
Seriously, that's exactly the kind of, like, if you, because you know that they're on one of the walkie-talkie frequencies, but yeah, as soon as they key up, this thing will tell you what frequency they're actually on, and then you'd know what to listen to.
Yeah, 2A said, I have a general amateur radio license.
Oh, shit. That's more than me. I'm only a technical or whatever. Technical is the first, and then, yeah, I don't know what the two levels are above me. I think it's general and advanced or something like that.
Ozzy said the new Reacher starts Thursday. I didn't know there was a...
Yeah, new Reacher's coming, dude. I only knew about it from seeing it on Amazon. I think I went to Amazon and something was like Reacher 3. And I jumped over to watch it, and it's like, not till the end of the month. I'm trying to find your show. Can somebody throw me a link to the show? It'd be cool if, like, they give you a link to watch it on YouTube, but they don't give us a link. Like, how hard would it be to give us the link to watch this? Because I can't comment from in here, can I?
I don't think so.
I'll find it. Hold on. I just have to close this window.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Fallout, the new Fallout season, but it got delayed with all the fires in California.
And everybody had to jump down into the underground silos or whatever. They're wishing they had underground silos. All right, I got the link. I'm posting it for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
there's...
I found for $40. Let me go look. 59. Sorry, I got it for 50. It was $60, and I forgot I had a bunch of credit for using the Amazon credit card or whatever, and I applied it. So I shouldn't say that I got it for $40. I got it for $40, but it's still way cheaper than the $180 that all the other ones are.
2A said technician, general, and extra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm a technician. Back in the olden days, it was technician was just to get one, and you could do, like, I can do some things. And then the other ones you had to know Morse code for, but now you don't have to know Morse code. Whenever I studied for the technician one the first time, I used an app, right? And there's only like 84 questions, and they ask you, or 90 questions, and they ask you 30 of the 90 questions. So the apps will just give you all 90 questions. So you just take the questions over and over until you memorize them. So I did that, and I went and took my test and got like 100 because I had memorized all the questions pretty much. And then they're like, oh, if you pass your test, you can take the next level test for free. So I took the next test as a general, and I got like 1 or 2 questions from like passing that one just from memorizing the questions for the first one. It's not like the questions were the same, but I knew the stuff from memorizing them. So anyway, it's able to do it in brute force, that whatever they call it, just just memorization. You don't have to actually know anything about ham radio. So I'm halfway in between. Like, I know the answers to the questions, but I also like radio, so I do know some stuff about radio, but not the antenna stuff. I just memorized which question was the answer. I don't know shit about antennas. Anyway, so that's why I'm not a general. I'm not gonna go try to learn more. General can use more stuff than I can. Like, they can use more of the spectrum than I can. They can talk on I think it's the channels that let you know how you hear about ham radios can bounce off the atmosphere and talk to the other side of the planet? Like, they can use those channels. I can use the channels that let you talk to the top of a mountain and bounce to the other side of the mountain. Or maybe with enough of those repeaters, talk to the other side of the country. But that's what I can do. I can do the short distance stuff. They can do the long distance stuff.
I saw a video. It was like a 12-year-old girl on a ham radio talking to the International Space Station.
That's not as hard as you'd think because it's right above us. So all you got to do is be able to talk up, as opposed to like really far away. It's up. It's not close to us, but it's only up.
It was kind of cute that I think the video was the astronaut was kind of from his side talking, so you could hear the girl talking, but it was the video was the astronaut.
It flies around the planet on some kind of path or trajectory, whatever it's called. And every time it's over, well, I don't know every time, but whenever it's over the United States and they're free, those astronauts will go, "Oh, we're flying over the United States. Let's go hang out by the ham radio." And then that's the fun of it is it's not like they're always there, I don't think. And it might be like at certain times they're always there because I know schools and stuff can get them. So maybe maybe during school hours, they're always going to grab the ham. But I think if there's like more than one person in the space station, whenever it flies over the United States, like they think about that. And then it's sort of they're flying at some speed way faster than you can imagine, right? Because they're way up there. And you talk to them and you say something like, "Hey, space station, it's me in Nebraska," or "Hey, space station, it's me in Nevada." And then the space stations is like saying, "I heard you in Nevada. I heard you in Nebraska. I heard you in Arizona. I heard you in," whatever. Like, they're flying over the states so fast. So it's like, it's a bit of a, technically you have to be able to reach them, but it's more of a, like, you got to be like, if there was a marathon runner and you wanted to hand them a glass of water, like, you'd have to know when they're about to run by. So, like, you'd be there at the right place at the right time. And then they'd have to also be reaching out for a glass of water. So sometimes you'll be there at the right place at the right time and you'll just miss them. So it's a kind of an exciting thing. So I can imagine, like, kids digging it. I would have dug it when I was a little kid. It would have definitely been a thing to do. And you're literally talking to space. How cool is that?
2A said the question pool is 400 now.
Holy shit.
But you only have to get 35 on the test, though.
But that's a lot more. It was like 90. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was like 90 back when I was memorizing them. I don't think it was 400. But the thing is, there's so many of them. I don't want anybody to think it's like hard. It's only medium hard, unless you're really, 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 really bad at taking tests. Because some of the questions are like, in an emergency, you'll be arrested for using a ham radio, or like, you're still not able to use a ham radio, or like, a ham radio will catch on fire, or D, you can use a ham radio in an emergency. So it's like pretty obvious. Like, some of the answers are just blatantly obvious that it's like, okay, it can't be the radio's going to catch on fire. So it can't be any of these negative ones. It has to be the positive one. There's just, they're I don't know what level of school they're made to, but it's pretty obvious on some of them.
Oh, so G-Webs, is there anything that you'd like to tell all these fine peoples? Anything you got coming up?
Nah, thanks for hosting. It's nice to have a chat in the middle of the night.
How about you, Gary? What you got on the docket?
No, same old, same old. Pretty much daily knife shorts. Members chat on Wednesday nights at 8 Central. Foul Territory Friday nights at 9 Central. That's it. Thanks for having me.
So check out Gizzard Gary. He has a giveaway every chat, don't you?
Well, yes, I give away something every chat.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody out there on Rumble, X, and the YouTubes. Appreciate you being out there and watching, and those that were participating in the chat. I appreciate you. And if you were watching and didn't say anything, don't be afraid to speak up. And if on X or Rumble you were commenting, I didn't see them. I don't know. I am new at streaming over to there. So if you said something and I didn't see it, I apologize, but I appreciate you reaching out.
See, I like where it says 10 seconds and a minute, like the timing part.
Yeah.
That'll be a X if they talk from X. I haven't seen an Instagram work, or did I? No, I didn't see an Instagram show up, and I can't remember if anyone ever. I did work this thing with Rumble once, I thought, or maybe I'm thinking of the other one. But anyway, with the Instagram, I did see it show up once, but not when DJ did it yesterday or today. So I guess that was earlier today. But
so, Gary, can you do me a favor? Go over to Rumble and leave a comment. Let me see if it pops up.
Are you on X? I'll go to X.
I was gonna say I did it once and it showed up, but I'll do it again.
Oh, you did already?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I got Rumble right here. Oh, I don't see you on X. Am I not subbed to you on X?
I don't know.
Are you on? Have you been on X a long time?
No.
Oh, then maybe I'm not.
Wow. I can't find your channel anymore.
Yeah, you're live and I'm not following you, so now I'm following you.
So I wonder which is which. Maybe I got the wrong one.
That's weird. Every time I go to X and watch something live, it's like a different format. So I don't know if I'm doing something different or if they just keep changing it.
Trying to find that link I put out there earlier.
The Rumble link?
Yeah. No.
So there's my comment from there. And I got your channel.
Yeah.
I don't see a live. Here's my channel that I have for you on Rumble.
That's not where I saw the live. It was on the other one I saw the live. So maybe your live is on your brand account, not on your channel.
So I need to unhide it?
Maybe. Okay, there's the live. I found it.
Did that link work?
Yeah, there's
27
the link.
Okay, yeah, so I put a comment out there on it.
Okay, yeah. So it shows up as Rumble.
Huh. I put up one in Instagram or in X, and it doesn't show up.
Yeah, the X wasn't showing up. Now StreamYard will show the X comments.
How did you find his channel on Rumble then?
I went back to the original when it was still visible. I posted a link out in the chat, so I went back to my old comment and clicked on that link.
Oh, you mean something happened and it went invisible?
Well, I was trying to talk him into hiding his brand account and only showing his channel, but when he did that, he hit his live stream, which leads me to wonder whether he associated that to his brand account and not to his channel.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. The whole 2-channel thing is...
Why? Right? Like, what the hell?
It's inconvenient as heck, because I named both of mine the same thing, because I didn't know you had to sign up. You sign up, and then you create a channel, and it ends up you have 2 different entities out there. You have your account, and then you have your channel. And you can put videos on either one. You can put videos on your account, or you can put videos on your channel. When you create a video, it asks you, what do you want to associate it to? DMFOS or DMFOS channel. It should have a drop down there where you can change it.
I'm assuming I'm looking at a channel because I'm looking at Rumble /C/ whatever numbers. So, right, channel versus something else. Can you put the link to the thing that you got on Rumble then? Because I can't find it on Rumble.
Let me see if I can copy.
Or maybe if I went, is there like a live stream?
Link address and Well, that wasn't the right thing at all.
It's weird. Rumble doesn't have a way to just watch live style. Here it is.
Copy. If you're following that. Well, that didn't work either. Hold on. Let me do it this way. This will work. Strike
worked.
that last thing I posted out in the chat. Go with that one. That one should work.
This worked. So then follow, thumb up. and-
Yeah, you did it. Okay.
Okay.
No, that's not the right.
The first link I worked for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing the comment. Yeah, that's from Rumble.
That's not the one I just commented.
So what did you have to do? You just had to get a pin or code or whatever the hell from Rumble, put that into Uvamax.
Here we go. One last chance. That's the right one. The last one I just put out there.
Oh, yeah, got my audio code.
I'm going to remove the other two. There we go.
Oh, nice. I had 2 instances of the chat running. That's always nice on a live show. But when you go to Rumble, you just had to pull the code or whatever and put it into Uvamax.
Yeah, there's 3 things you need: the stream key. There's another one. Those 2 will be on the same page, right next to each other. And then you need the actual page where the stream is
for the be able to do comments or whatever, right?
Now, if you look at that, this is where you create a new live stream. When you scroll down into the bottom of it, yeah, you're setting up a new Rumble live stream. And then it says stream as. Okay, you've got a choice between your user profile, and then you've got, I have 3 different channels. Foss only has 1. Normally, it's going to come up by default as your user profile. So what Foss needed to do is when he created that stream associated to his channel.
And it's only 1. You can only do it to 1. Okay. And then you can set it as the default, it looks like, so that whatever.
You can, yes. So once he did that, if he clicked this button, then it would always select that.
One for the Saturday show, one for the Thursday show or something, and then just toggle between whatever you're posting, I guess.
Right. So if you associate it to your user profile like he did, you're only going to see it if you follow his user profile, which he just hid a second ago because I told him to.
Well, I unhid it.
Okay.
What? So now it's all screwy because I think all the last videos that I uploaded were probably uploaded to the user profile. Then
you can fix them.
And there's more followers on the user profile than there is on the channel.
You can fix it if you go back to Rumble. Let's see. Well, yeah, go here, and then I believe you go to my content. Okay, and that'll show the last few things you've done. So now if you bring up, say, the last one and go to edit and go under settings, and then you can choose, well, where is it? Yeah, there it is, channel. And then you can change it back to whatever channel you want to.
Oh.
Thank you, Rumble. It is cool that
if you make a mistake, you can fix it. So
yeah, that's cool.
So edit, and then where?
It's on the settings tab. It's very top.
Yeah.
It's a drop down.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's why once you get everything going to the right channel, you hide your user profile. That way people don't follow the wrong thing. Unless you're just going to operate under your user profile.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Because there's more people sub to the user profile than there is the channel.
Right.
Well, the thing
I don't know.
Well, like user thing is so that you can use that as like a whatever, like a broad host or whatever over the other one, umbrella. But if you're not planning on doing a bunch, do you need the umbrella? I guess is the thing. As soon as you start doing a bunch, you're gonna have to move everything.
If I go to my channel, it doesn't show my user profile. It only shows my page.
And I'm only seeing like 29 people, so it's not like you have 290,000 that you got to move over. It's like the 29 people that are watching the show just have to go to the other one also. And you haven't done like a bunch of rumbles so that you've got like a massive.
And you're not the only one to have made this mistake. Trust me, Rumble is really cryptic in how they set stuff up. So,
Well, all you got to do is be different than YouTube, right? And it's going to be throw us all for a loop until we
Yeah.
figure it out.
it confuses a lot of people. It took me a while to figure it out too.
Somebody was
well-
asking if you're using the Rumble Studio instead of something else.
No, now Rich White does when he does his Sunday night stream. He uses Rumble Studio.
I was going to use Rumble Studio, but I couldn't get it to connect with YouTube at all. Like it was always erroring out when it would try to connect. So I could stream to Rumble and Instagram, maybe LinkedIn, which I don't care, but I couldn't get it to link with.
I have used it. Its functionality is really limited versus some of the other options.
Yeah,
So,
UV
but
Max
it is free.
UV Max makes us do the same thing though. You have like a shell account, and then inside the shell account you make studios, and then inside those studios you make something, right? So it's, I don't want to say overly complicated, but it's definitely more complicated than StreamYard ever was. But it's because you can have, I don't know, StreamYard might add stuff since I've been using it, but it's so that you can make, like I have one for the Ask Gun Questions, I have one for the weekly show. I have one for, I can make a new, I forget what they're called, studio or whatever for each project. And it's kind of handy. But you could do the same thing in StreamYard, right? Like you could have multiple, what were they called? I forget. But like studios set up, like multiple accounts or whatever. Like, you could have one with one set of overlays and stuff, and then create another one with a whole different set of overlays and text and everything. So it's just they're set up differently. I guess they have the same.
So here's a question for you,
And you're not
Gary.
moving it to Rumble. He's just deciding on Rumble which account to use, but you're still going to stay on YouTube and X and Rumble, right? You're not doing one like, oh, we're leaving YouTube for Rumble or anything.
No. So is there a way for me to see my stream on X? Because when I go to my channel, I don't see my stream on X.
Okay, so if you go to X, and then if you go to your channel,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to your channel, and it has a live icon underneath you, so it shows you're live, right? You see your little avatar there, and it's got live down at the bottom of it?
No.
Really?
That's how I see it. Well, for me, anytime I go to my main page on X, there's a column to the left with your menu. There's your main column, and then there's a column to the right. The column
I'll show you what I see.
Whoever's live.
I see it says live right underneath your...
Yeah, mine doesn't show that.
Okay. And then right here, it's showing your mouse party live. And I'll show you what I see.
Whoever's live.
Oops. I don't want to listen to it. Now, if you want to comment on it, you actually have to open it up like this. And how is it? It's kind of cryptic as to how to put a
Scroll
comment.
down just a little bit. You're right there.
There it is. Now it's got the chat over on the side.
But if you click home right now,
Yeah.
then it'll be your scroll or whatever, and over on the right, that's weird. For me, over on the right, I would see it says live on X, and that's where he shows up.
See, I don't know why.
It's above
Normally,
Lance.
when somebody I'm following is live, it shows up over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about over there.
So I had
Maybe
to actually
it's
physically
left-handed or
go to
something.
his channel.
But that's what I did, is I typed in DM Foss, and then it showed up like you just saw it when you clicked on search. It shows up all highlighted because he's live. And I was like, oh, that must be him because it's all live. You're not
Yeah, I don't. On my page, I don't see anything.
Maybe it's
about
because you're
the
not
live
following Gizzard. Follow him.
Oh, I'm not following them?
Or at least that
Oh,
button.
there we go. I wasn't following Foss.
Now, if you click on home, I'll bet you it's up there. Yep.
Let me... Yeah,
There you go.
there it
Live
is.
So that's
I'm
what I
sorry. I thought
told
I was fooling you, Foss. Wow.
Well, I don't. Other than this, I don't
Dude,
know
you
how to use X yet, so I don't have any posts or anything.
Yeah, that's what I
the best
should
part
be
about
seeing.
X is click on Grok right there, Gizzard, because
We're
you're paying
over
for it.
here. Okay.
Yeah. And now that's your X AI, and their AI is pretty decent. It's different for sure.
I
But
did a
that's
picture with the Grok, but I don't know what to do with the picture.
Who is DM Foss? Oh, wow. Refers to
David
Daniel
Foss.
Foss, an academic special. I did know that about you.
In migration and education. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. That's a past life.
Let me do it without the.
You worked at you studied at the Trinity College in Dublin.
Still the same thing.
What?
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, associate professor of sociology at Trinity College in Dublin. You never talk about those. I guess we're not supposed to talk about that on the show. Your PhD from the University of someplace.
You're doxing me.
Oh, it knows who G. Oh, wow. Gun Websites is a YouTube channel and online platform focused on firearms related gear. The person behind Gun Websites is known by the pseudonym G Webs, who maintains anonymity by not showing. Wow, it knows all kinds of stuff about G Webs.
Yeah.
Wow, hosts a daily gun show podcast.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just to make it clear, I am not Daniel M. Foss.
But this is definitely that is pretty impressive about G Webs. That
Well,
doesn't know
ask
who I
it.
am.
Copy and
Yeah,
paste
ask
that.
it, Gizzard Gary.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Because it'll be different if I ask it. It's just the nature of these things.
God, it knows my name.
Well, you use your name
You're
though.
is
It's
a
on-
prominent
A
figure.
prominent figure in the firearms community. Wow.
You should put that on when you're what do they call that? Your media kit or whatever. Let people know. Like, here's what the AIs know about me.
God knows I'm an Amazon influencer. Let's see. I've been a NSSF member since 2020. Wow.
Is this all stuff on your bio page though?
It knows where my nickname came from. Wow. Wow.
Let's look at shared during a gunchannels.com chat in 2017.
That's
Okay,
true. That is absolutely true.
That read a lot of text chats to know that. Like, it had to
I
read
know.
channels just to know that real quick. Holy crap.
Well, I'm on X and Amazon. I've carved out a unique space in the gun culture ecosystem by combining humor, personal storytelling, and a strong advocacy for Second Amendment rights with practical, informative content about fire. I like that. That's
Get to
that's
Pink
classy.
Pink wants you to punch in Pink Panther. 69.
It's going to say Pink Panther, though. You know what I mean? Put in Pink Panther 69, though.
PNTHER_69. Okay. What you give his street name? That'd be funny.
Like, here's his address. Like, oh, shit.
Oh. Yeah, it come up with the inept French detective inspector Jacques Rousseau. This would typically be someone choosing a playful or iconic reference combined with a numerical suffix for uniqueness. Wow.
Oh, really? Thanks, robot. It is true, though. Like, if you were an alien or just some kid or whatever, like, who didn't know yet, it is given a breakdown of, like, here's everything it could be. It's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah. Let's see if it knows who Ozzy Osbourne is.
Continually impressed with what the robots can do. Like, I've been using the robots a lot lately.
Who is Ozzy Osbourne? Let's see. Appears to be a misspelling or variant of the name Ozzy Osbourne. It's giving a whole bio of Ozzy Osbourne.
Do you have to have an account? Yeah, you got to pay the $7 a month or whatever to be
It's 11 for
blue check.
the stream.
Yeah, I'm a premium member.
It's 11. I thought it was
Yeah.
7.
They
Maybe it's 7 at Christmas time. That's what it was. Maybe like that. But anyway, you have to pay the basic amount on X to get a check, and when you get the check, you can use the AI.
Now, M. Gabriel says he did not know that about my screen name. Wow. I've got a YouTube short on there that tells the story.
Maybe you'd read that. I mean, it takes the transcript of all the YouTube videos and reads them. Well, I don't know what Grok does, but that's what the other AIs do.
Is Grok free on X or for verified members?
No, that's what we're saying. You have to pay. I think.
Have you seen my short, G-Webs?
About your name? No.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
I just
pulled
did
from,
it this last week. It's 45 seconds.
is it pulled from like a live chat, or is it a special, you made a unique video?
Yeah, it's pulled from a live chat. Let's see. View your channel.
I think I remember you talking about it really recently.
Okay, here we go. Why am I called Gizzard Gary? I don't know if you're going to get the audio on this or not. We'll see.
Yeah, I can hear it.
You know, over the years, a lot of people have asked me, why are you Gizzard Gary?
Oh, I've got YouTube.
Well, on October the 7th, 2017,
And you started.
all right. You know, over the years, a lot of people have asked me, why are you called Gizzard Gary? Well, on October the 7th, 2017, I became sick on a live stream after having had gizzards earlier that evening. I didn't think anything of it until 2 days later when a friend of mine said this on his live stream.
Oh God, you're still eating gizzards, Gary? What is? Oh my God, Gizzard Gary. That's it. You're Gizzard Gary. No more Gary Decker. Gary Decker. You're Gizzard Gary from now on. Sorry, I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna write that down. I gotta remember Gizzard Gary. Yep, gotta change it.
And right after that live stream was over, I changed my channel name, and that is history. You know, that's the way it worked.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something like when you were a kid, you like won some gizzard eating contest or some shit. I didn't know it happened in a gun challenge.
It's all Midnight Range. You can blame him for it.
So what, you were sitting around eating gizzards? What are those even?
I was at my daughter's, and we went out that evening before I left. There's a local chicken place in that small town she lived in. I picked up an order of chicken gizzards and ate those, and then I took off for home. Well, later that night, I think I was on like Rich White's stream or something, and ended up having to excuse myself because I had to go throw up. Then I made the mistake of telling everybody I got sick, and they all thought it was hilarious. And I guess Midnight was in there and saw it all happen. So a couple days later in his stream, he had to make fun of me over it, and that's what started.
Oh, okay. So what is it? Is it like, I don't know what a gizzard is. I thought a gizzard had rocks in it, so I'm guessing you're not eating the rocks.
No, there's no rocks in it, but it's just a piece of the chicken that is often discarded by most people, but some people consider it a delicacy if you fry it up. And there
Does
are,
it taste like meat? Does it taste like a snail?
it's very chewy, kind of a combination between meat and gristle. It's kind of tough to chew, but they deep fat fry it in batter and stuff like that, and it's usually pretty good.
A gizzard is a muscular organ in the stomach of some animals that grinds food.
Like when chickens eat rocks, they put them in their gizzard, right? And then it's like the muscle that uses the rocks to smush up like seeds and whatever shit it can't just digest, I guess. Anyway, so I figured they cleaned it out or whatever. So it's basically a little muscular piece that's chewy. But it's, how big is it? Like size of your thumb?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. So it's not like a tiny little thing, like you're eating a thing that's a bite. Okay.
You'll probably have to bite it in half because you couldn't eat the whole thing because it's just a little bit too much in one
Oh, okay.
swallow.
That's that big. Okay. But it's not like eating a chicken wing.
No,
No.
It's like eating a fried oyster, maybe.
I've never
Closer.
had a fried oyster. So
Except
Rabbit.
chewier.
Fried octopus. No, octopus isn't really that chewy.
Octopus is chewy.
of course, a lot of people don't like calamari. I like calamari.
Or maybe I'm thinking of squid. I don't know.
Pink wants to know if I've ever fished with gizzards or livers. I have livers. Yeah. Used to take
Definitely
chicken livers and put them on a treble hook. We'd throw them out there and get the big river cats with those things. Let it sit on the bottom of the river. Mm.
I fish with livers too. I never thought of a gizzard. I don't know if I've ever seen them. Yeah, well, maybe I have. Like you buy them in like a big bundle, like in a like at a butcher or whatever, right? It's like a pile of them. Like,
Well, my dad told me that he could never eat shrimp because when he was a kid, they would actually use shrimp for bait. I didn't know. I guess back in the day, they sold shrimp for fish bait.
oh, you've never used shrimp for bait?
No, I never have.
I think we just did because of, you get shrimp that go bad or whatever, and it's like, oh, don't throw that away. I'll use it for it's stinky. I'm going to use it for bait. But I mean, I'm assuming on the ocean they use the shit out of shrimps for bait.
See, my dad had a theory as to why chicken livers was such good bait. He said it's not that the fish want to eat it, but he said the smell is so bad that they want to pick that thing up and get it out of the river, and that's when you get them. So.
Well, dang, we got a whole extra two or three things of show out of this. Because weren't we about to shut down?
Yeah.
You just never know where one of these things is going to
Oh,
go.
now let's talk about Rumble for an hour.
Ooh, crawdads. Yeah, I fished with crawdads before. Or crawfish, as some people would call them in different parts of the country. Crayfish, crawfish.
Crayfish and crawdad is the same thing, just with a
Yes.
different name, or are they
Yeah.
two different things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mud
Yeah,
shrimp.
it's always kind of cool to find the crawfish in the streams around here.
They're devastating here. People throw
But
them into the creeks and then they eat everything. So they turn the creeks into barren wastelands.
Pink said tiger shrimp is good bait. Tiger shrimp are good eating.
You can eat crawfish too. Especially down in Louisiana. They eat them all the time.
Yeah,
Crawfish boil. Mm-hmm.
I mean, all they do is eat muck and gross. Like, no.
But you spice it up enough, anything's good though.
I mean, I get it. They taste like shrimp, I'm sure, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they are shrimp almost. So they got, or somewhere between shrimp and lobster, maybe. But I've just, man, as a little kid growing up, we played with them and, you'd look underneath rocks and find them or whatever. And at least where I grew up, like most of the places, or at least when I was growing up, most of the places we went, I should say it that way, had crayfish around. And it wasn't until I came out here where I stopped liking them. Because like I say, they can devastate desert creeks because they don't grow. The vegetation isn't the same as like, where there's a lot of vegetation. They can like where they come from, they can be tolerated. There's frogs and raccoons and shit to eat them, but out here they don't have enough predators. But anyway, so I've always liked them, and I guess not liked them, but played with them and stuff. So I had no interest in eating them. They just seem so gross to like. You know what I mean? Well, I just said they eat muck and gross. Like they're eating.
But yeah, we would get a smaller one and you just thread your fish hook through the tail, cast them back out, or put them on a on a trot line or a limb line or something like that and leave it overnight. And usually you get a big one. The bigger fish would feed on those things.
Exactly. Well, we'd bust them in half, throw a tail out once, and then the top half off, separately. And yeah, bigger fish. Well, any fish really would eat them.
Of course, so will snapping turtles too. So a lot of times you'd go to pull your lines up the next day, there'd be snapping turtles on there.
Oh, you're talking like leave a line out with multiple hooks on it?
Yeah, a lot of times we would do that. You'd have a thicker piece of cord that would have multiple hooks on it, and you would bait those and throw it out into the middle of the river or the pond and leave it overnight. Now, the law says you have to have a tag on there that shows who belongs to
Oh,
blah,
okay.
blah, blah. And you can either tie it to a tree limb alongside the river, that's called a limb line, or a trout line. Basically, you just put a stake up and just let it float. Sometimes people will just have floats that's attached to them.
That's what I'd see, like just a bottle or something floating, and then put lines up.
Yeah, typically you leave it overnight and go back the following morning and pull it up and see what you've got.
I've never done that though. I don't know if it wasn't legal or we just never did it, but I never did that before. I would do it for survival or whatever. Like I could totally see it. I'd just always like fishing more than having the fish, so I never bothered to fish more than just casting or whatever.
Oh, so
We'll have to have a fishing bracket next.
as I was saying, appreciate everybody that was out there. If you're watching this in replay, leave a comment. Anything we talked about, agree with, disagree with. Which do you think the best fighter was? I read the comments. I always read the comments, and I always appreciate them. So, other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night and go do something good.